Hi everyone, today's card's going to be a fun shape. I've taken out the Layered Differently collection elegant rectangles, and this outer border is going to be the shape of my card, and then I'm going to be using a couple of the dies on the inside, but I'll show you those as we go along. I've cut myself out some stamens, and I've cut out two different designs of florals. I cut out the Floral Finery Exquisite Petals and the Floral Finery Delightfully Dotty. I've also cut myself out some magnificent fronds and some of the twiddly bits. So that's the dies that I've used for all my embellishments, which I've got here. I've done most of them, so we'll pop them there. And I'll show you, I've got two to do, so I'll show you how I do those. I've taken out this really pretty piece of designer paper, and this is from the Papillion Paradise. I've got myself a piece of white cardstock because I need that, and the florals I cut out in this blue cardstock, and then I cut some lemon ones. Oh, I haven't got any cardstock left of that, but I've cut some lemon ones, and then the fronds in the white. And what I've done is I've taken all the colours out of this piece of designer paper apart from the green, and going to put a card together. So the first thing I need to do is, looks like I popped all my bits inside my dies. There you go. Okay, so the actual card base, I've used the biggest of the dies, so that's this one, and I've cut two of those. And then in the lemon cardstock, I cut the next size down, and that's going to be my first matte layer. How we turn this into a card: if I take in my scoring board with one of the cut pieces, doesn't matter which one it is, good side down, and I'm going to score this 1, 2, 3, 4 at 5/8. And then I'm going to turn this over and give that a really nice burnish. And that's all we need for the scoring board. And now this one will be glued to the back of this one, is what will create our card base. So if we pop a nice amount of glue all along the back of that tab that we've just created, and if you line these up at the bottom and just give that a really nice burnish down, what we've created is a really nice fun shape card. So that's the base of our card. Now with our yellow piece that we cut the next layer down, make sure we get that the right way around. And this is going to be our first matte layer. And this one I would like to put up on foam tape. I'm just going to run a nice line of foam tape as always. And I'm going to take my backings halfway. I did consider embossing this piece, and then I decided that there was so much going on with the pattern paper that I didn't think it really needed it. So if I bring that back in, and if I turn this sideways, I'm going to line this up. There we go. So that's our first matte layer down. And now I can remove these backing tapes. Turn that over and give that a really nice press from the back. And that's our card base done. Within this die set, I've taken number 3 and number 5 because I want to create a frame. And I'm going to create that in the white. And the way to do that is to lay your dies down, get the same amount of border in between, and you will need to secure that down with some low tack tape so that those dies don't move. And I don't need to pop through all this cardstock, so I'm just going to chop that up there. Taking my plates, and I'm going to quickly run that through my ebosser. And then hopefully when we release this, gently remove those tapes. We've created ourselves a nice frame. Keep this piece, don't throw that away, that's always come in handy. Now we do need to cut this again. We'll cut it in the smaller of the two. So I'm going to choose what area I think I would like. Yeah, it seems a bit sacrilege cutting it in the centre, but I think that's where I'd like it to be. I'm just going to secure that one down, and I'm going to cut this centre panel. Remove that one and gently remove that tape. And now we've got this really nice panel. So that's all we need for those 2 dies. Just pop that to one side for a second. Now if I take back in my card, I want this to be central. And then with my frame, I'm just going to pop that over the top. So the first thing I need to do is glue this piece down. So a nice bit of glue on the back and in the middle. Decide where I'd like that to go. Pretty central. And now I'm debating whether to pop this up on foam tape or whether to pop this down flat. I think I'm going to leave it flat actually. So a nice bit of glue all around the edge. Just going to get this one nicely lined up. I think it's nice sometimes to keep it flat. So that's where we are with that. Now with the florals, I cut the blue and the yellow. As I say, I done 2 different designs in the florals. And then I had a few stamens left over, so what I thought I would do to pick up on this cerise colour, I just did a few stamens and put a cerise gem in the centre of those. Now I've got 2 blue ones that I'd like to to finish. I'm not going to be using that big lemon one. And all I did with these was curl the ends. So just curl the ends. Like so. And then if we turn these over, give them a press down in the middle. Tiny bit of glue on the back. Rotate those petals. So that's one. So that's the 4 petal, and this is the 3 petal. Just poke those up a little bit as you squash them down. Then with the stamens, so I've got 2 stamens left. With the stamens, the bigger out of my 2 bottle ends, I just went round in circles to lift those up. And a tiny bit of glue on the back of those. And give that a nice squash down. So that's that one. And then again with this one. Just lifting those petals up as we squash that down. So that's how the florals were done. Now I need to add a couple of yellow gems in the center of those. So this one I think will have a bigger one and then a small one. I don't, oh, there he went. I'm not putting no glitter in these, so just a tiny bit of glue in both. And with my pickup tool, oh, doesn't want to pick up off of the mat. Just let me pop them down there a minute. Leave that gem. That's that one. And then there's that one. So that's how the florals were done. Decide whether I want the blue one or the yellow one to be my focal. I think the blue. So take in my glue, not using glue gel for this, and I'm just going to alternate these. So I'm going to have a yellow one next. So slightly underneath that one, so that lifts that one up. Give that one a nice squash down. We're going to do this one under this side. So again, slightly underneath. Give that one a squeeze down. And I need to just see what I'm doing. Yeah, so we're going to have this blue one just underneath there. So I'm just going around the frame. Oh, didn't put any glue on that one, silly woman. That's that one. Need to put another bit of glue on that one, and this one actually can go over the top. Now I want a tiny one just at the top there. And then what I thought I would do is on the outside, every now and again, I would have I don't know if I just want the 3, maybe one there, and maybe one at the bottom. So this is just the stamens. So I'm gonna bring that one in roughly there. This one is going to go there. And then I think this one's going to go in that space there. So what we're doing is we're picking up on all the colours that are within the patterned paper. Very pretty. I do have this big one, but I don't know if that's too big. We'll think about that one. Okay, and I do have some tiny ones. So it's all about just using different sizes, different shapes. Oops, get that one down. And this yellow one I think I'll pop in there. It's looking rather pretty. I think we'll do our leaves so we can see where we're going with this. So this is the Floral Finery leaves. I'm just going to give them a tiny bit of shape. So just curling them up. I've got the 3 fronds and the 5 fronds. Far more than I need. Just give them a tiny bit of shape. Pop some glue on the back of that stem. And this one is going to go just there. And give that one a press down. I would like one that way, so I might actually cut this stem down a little bit, pop some glue on the back of that one, and get this one just there. Give that one a squash down. Got another big one, but I don't know if I want another big one. Right, let's see what these 3 petals look like. That one's better. Tiny bit of glue on the back of that one. Sit that one just there and give that one a squash down. That's that one. Yeah, I think I'll have that one in that space there. Just lift that up, get that one where I want that one to go, give that one a squash down. So that's our leaves at the top. Pop some glue on the back of that one, and this one is going just in that gap there. Give that one a squash down. We do have a 3 petal left, so we could most probably use that one. Just going to chop that one down, pop some glue on the back of that one, and I'm going to get that one just there. Give that a squash down, making sure that it doesn't go over the bottom of the card. And keep checking all the time what we're looking like. And then we've got these twiddly bits. We've got 2 left and 2 right. Pop a tiny bit of glue on the back of there. And this one is going to slot just in there. Get that one squashed down. So that's a right hand. This one could go hit just underneath that floral. A tiny bit of glue on the back of that one. Just get that slotted in there. That's those 2. Just going to pop a tiny bit of glue just on there. Lift that one up slightly. Press that one down there. There we go. Yeah, I think 3 of those twiddly bits are enough. So that's where we are with this at the moment. I'm going to pop all those bits to one side. I might use some more, I don't know yet. And then if I take back in our main die set that we were using, I've turned over this oval and the inside piece. So what I'm going to do, actually, if I bring my card in, that oval's going to sit there. Or do we just have the smaller sentiment? I think that'd be fine, actually. So that's what we'll do. And I'm going to cut this in the white. And that was why I said don't throw away your bits of white scrap. Get that one lined up and quickly run that one through. There we go. So that's now cut out that plaque. Pop that die back. And this one I'm going to raise. We need to find a sentiment to go on there. Happy birthday to you. Have an awesome day. I quite like that. Have an awesome day. So lay this one down on my mat. Get that nice and straight. And with the correct stamping block, pick that one up. Do I do this in blue, pink, or lemon? I think I'm going to go blue actually. So we're taking a piece of scrap card. Well, actually, I think that's quite a nice match. So I'm going to stamp this one up in the faded jeans in the Distress Oxides. You need to get quite a nice amount of ink on those stamps when you're using Distress Oxides. Bring this across, get that nice and straight. Have an awesome day. It's going to go just there. Beautiful. And this one's going to sit just there. I'm going to pop that one up with some foam pads. Just need to make sure that that's dry. So there's 3 little foam pads on the back of there. And this one, I want to go right to the edge of the lemon. Make sure that's nice and straight. Beautiful. And then the last thing I want to do to this is add some blue gems. So I'm going to use the smallest of the gems. Take some out a minute, turn those over. One in there. One over there. Yeah, I'm just going to have random. I'm not very good at symmetrical, having everything in line. I'm going to have a blue one just there. I'm going to have one down here. So there's 1, 2. I'm going to pop one just up there. Maybe one there. Let's see what they look like for a minute, and then we'll decide if we want any more. So one there. One in there. Where did we put this one? Whoops. One just there. Thought I did 4. One just there. Okay. So for the inside of this card, I've got this spare piece of white, and I need to take back in. If we take the biggest one, just make sure that that is, yeah, that's absolutely fine. If I cut this one out quickly, there we go. So that's in keeping. Pop that to one side. And if I pop this in the center, that's in keeping with the outside, as I say. And I was wondering whether or not this sentiment would fit on there. This card brings special greetings and best wishes your way because you are amazing and deserve a lovely day. Not going to be an awful lot of space left to write a message, but when you've got lovely sentiments, sometimes all you need is love from, or let's pop that down, get that nice and straight. Pick that one up. Now I am going to ink this one up in the Versamark Onyx Black. Versafine, sorry, Onyx Black. Get that nice and straight. Get that exactly where I think I want that to go, just there. And give that a nice press down. Now the S at this end and this end are going to be right up to the edge. And that's fine. What a beautiful verse. This card brings special greetings and best wishes your way because you are amazing and deserve a lovely day. Happy birthday. And, you know, all you need to put there is love whoever. Right. So this one is going to be glued to the inside. I just need that to dry a little bit. So pop a nice amount of glue all around the edges and in the middle. And this one is going to go just there. Just give that a nice press down. Don't want to touch the ink at the moment. I think it's still a little bit green. I actually think that might look quite nice there. And there we go. There's today's card. So a nice fun shaped card. We've got a lovely greeting on the inside, which we've carried the design from the front on through. Beautiful in lemon blue. Well, I hope you enjoyed my video. Pop that there so that doesn't touch. We've got all these tiny bits left over. I mean, you could just go on and on and on. I could now pop one just below my sentiment if I wanted to. Shall we, shan't we? Oh dear. Right, I'm gonna have to open this up. I thought I'd finished. I actually quite like the idea of this one. That one I press down. And then this one. Give that one a squash down until it grabs. It does grab eventually. Oh yes, I think that looks better. Well, I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you for watching. I think that's dry now. And until the next time, have an awesome day. Bye for now.